All right, everyone, welcome to Savannah Chat. We have Jason and Cheryl, our craft spirits managers in our Atlanta branch, to go over and detail our well and base spirits. And Jason, you may take it away.
Hello, everyone. It's Jason and Cheryl here.
Hey guys.
We are going to go over your well and base spirits, obviously for on-premise. These are very important to your accounts and to you because they make a lot of money. They're reordering every week when they get these things. So these are what they're going to use when somebody asks for a vodka soda, a bourbon ginger. So they're going to get a lot of run through your account. They make us important to your account. So please pay attention. And if you guys have any questions about these kind of things ever, just reach out to me and Cheryl. We're happy to help. So I'm gonna let Cheryl take it away from here.
Also, just a reminder, even though this is a PowerPoint presentation, it is a chat. So if the sales force has a question or has an anecdote about a particular product, please either raise your hands or say something in chat or open mic. We'd be happy to have you guys share.
For sure.
Yay. Oh, you want to flip to the next one?
Yeah.
So I started you guys with a slide on your ounce cost, which is really important because sometimes you might go in and, our well spirit might be $1 or $2 more than what you're trying to compete with. But in the grand scheme of things, when you break it down, it's pretty close in ounce cost. So if the quality is that much better and, they're only saving like a couple cents per ounce, it's important to be able to break that down. So I have the 3 sizes here. I included half gallons that if you guys are pitching for slushy machines or batch cocktails, you have that broken down as well. There's also helpful for if you guys are creating whole cocktails, so you can break everything down to show your retailers or your customers how much that cocktail is costing them exactly with each ingredient into it. On your vodkas, I put Tito's on there. There are accounts that use Tito's, so I did add your 4-case price for your ounce cost on there just so you can, if they have it and it's moving and we're trying to get that #1 spot, this is a good way for you to show them how much they're spending on it. And it's as you know, it's a call brand. It's our #1 brand. So it's important to pitch that for, if not your well, then at least the base and some of your cocktails on a menu. The other 3 main ones are 229 It's and Deep River. I don't know if all of you are familiar with Deep River, but it is coming from our friends down at 229. The only difference is it's 100% corn. They don't put muscadine in it. It is in a plastic bottle though, so make sure that you are making your buyers aware of that just in case that's an issue for them. A couple of gins for you guys. Also, if you guys have any questions, you can chime in. I know that everybody's probably, pretty familiar with most of these. So the biggest point that I wanted to make here was the ounce cost and make sure you guys had a good reference to go back and reference these 3 and be able to compare them for your retailers. If they want
Let's go back to that vodka slide.
Okay.
I've got something for you. So, a lot of places will be using Tito's in high volume. Obviously, it's the #1 selling brand, so it's the #1 selling brand. And many places will default to having Tito's in the well, or just naturally on the cocktail list because it's the #1 brand. Would that be a good place to present 229 or It's when you have Tito's as the well already?
No.
Very simple.
Did you want me to answer that or somebody else?
Either way.
You don't want to undersell yourself, right? I mean, you don't want to, like, if they're already using it as their well, don't go in and try to, take money out of your pocket and pitch them something cheaper, in my opinion. Or you
and just keep in mind, guys, when we have Tito's as a well, I mean that is positioned as a premium brand, even though it isn't priced as one. Our competitors are going after it every day by trying to subvert and get that well placement, or trying to subvert and get that cocktail list placement, and saying things like, oh, well, Tito's is the #1 brand. You don't need any help selling that. Put our brand on the cocktail list. The way you fight that is to go right back and reverse that logic and say, Tito's is the #1 selling brand. It's the vodka brand that makes you the most money already. It's considered a premium brand, even though it isn't priced as one. So you can make a lot of margin on it by selling 13, 14, 15, $18 Tito's cocktails, which is what people are doing these days. Tito's hasn't gone up in price in like 5 years. So the cost per ounce is very good for a product this premium. So remind your customers of that, saying like this is the premium brand, and
also
it's
use that to get the Tito's print on the menu in your cocktail,
yep,
because people don't bat an eye at paying 14, 15 bucks for a cocktail if they know that it's got a premium brand in it
that's
versus
right.
just having vodka. They don't know what is in there.
But when you do have a on-premise customer that has a competitor in the well, you see a New Amsterdam, you see a Rocktown, you see Svedka or Smirnoff, or whatever else those cheaper brands. That is really what 229 does great at killing. The locally owned, locally produced. It's high quality vodka. I mean, vodka is a little bit of a difficult product to play the quality game because there isn't a huge window of difference in vodka these days, in my opinion. But if you open up a 229 and you compare it to a New Amsterdam or one of those other brands I just mentioned, it does show out better. And you can highlight the fact that it's locally owned. It's not owned by a corporation. It's owned by farmers in South Georgia. It's made by farmers in South Georgia. They grow the muscadines that go into that vodka. That's unheard of, especially at this price point. No one grows the crop that goes into the bottle. It's a very strong brand for that price. And then as you get down the list there, it becomes more cost per ounce. And it's as local to Atlanta as well, and is produced by a good friend of the company. So yeah, we got all that going for you. But yeah, don't shoot yourself in the foot by underselling yourself. If Tito's is your high volume, keep it that way. But when your competitors beat on you a little bit by bringing in other brands, that's when you want to start introducing these great value brands that we also sell. Sorry, Cheryl, please continue.
All right. Okay, so 3 main ones for your gin. Citadel, obviously, for your accounts that don't bat an eye at putting premium in the well, that's a great, great product, especially for that price point. Murals Row, again, if they're looking for a local, and the same with 229, for, if you're competing for somebody that wants the best ounce cost. So those are the 3 gins that I would recommend for pitching for your well.
Citadel's also released some newer SKUs too. So if you need something less London dry style with like Citadel regulars, very like punchy and juniper forward, they have the Jardin d'Eté, which is their summer garden. They're more citrus flavored, more melon. So it's like an easier sell in if they don't want something super punchy. And then Merle's Row's also got, their Tulsi and their regular ginger, and the Tulsi is going to be the more aromatic, more tropical version. The Gin there, again, classic London dry style. And then 229 is kind of a good middle ground. It's got the juniper, but it's got some citrus notes to it too.
Good description of those differences.
Quite a few choices for your tequila. Obviously, the top 3 on here are going to be your 100% Blue Weber. Casadores, just like Tito's, is a big brand in our book, so I like to include that. And there's a lot of, as you guys have seen, like Casadores has increased a lot. I see over the last year to 2 years. And I do see a lot of restaurants not batting an eye, putting that in the well. Keep in mind that's only the Blanco and the Repo. I don't know many places to put an Añejo in the well anyways. And then your Rayhon is going to be, I don't know that you'll find a better additive free at that price point on the liter. Keep in mind that that's only the liters that come in on that for that case, and the Blanco. And then, yes, it is your dog, Scott. I stole him over the weekend and fed him margaritas. The Rancho Alegre, you've got Blanco and Repo. They're both line price and they mix. And then 2 different mixtos, pretty close in price there, but the Buen Amigo and the Vaquiton.
Vaqueton.
Mhm.
Does anybody on the call, sales reps included, have a really solid mixto placement that you could detail how you got it? Feel free to open mic and talk about it.
Good question.
There are different places you want to sell these kind of things. The mixtos are kind of a race to a bottom, and when you do race to that bottom price point, being a craft distributor, we do kind of lose a little bit because almost always, almost never, we're going to have the cheapest product in the category. But all right, Amber, do you want to share that anecdote? I think we've been to that account that you're referring to. I
Hey,
don't know. Hey,
sorry. I was doing an order too, so I was trying to do both. I'm consistently selling bien buen amigo, whatever. Like I'd say 4 cases a week
Wow.
constantly.
Is that to a single account?
Yep, that's agave. I mean, I have them in other accounts, but agave I consistently sell 4, sometimes it'll go up to 8 a week.
That's fantastic. How long have you had that placement?
Gosh, it's been well over a year.
Good pun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's great because that's, a little over $100 per case. So you're selling multiple cases a week, sometimes as much as 8. So let's just be conservative and say you're selling on average $300 a week. I mean, you've added a $15,000 yearly placement.
And that
Yeah.
That's,
also,
It helps with my sales in there for sure. I'm
yeah,
I'd
sorry.
say it also opens the door, right? If they're ordering their tequila from you 3, 4, 5 cases a week, they're gonna lean on you as a rep when they need other products. So they'll say, I'm
yeah.
already on the phone with Amber. Do you guys have an orange liqueur for my margarita? And she'll say, hell yeah, we do. We have 229 triple sec if you want something nicer, or Matilda XO or Ferran Curacao. And then you're gonna gain that business too. Strengthens that relationship with your account.
It's all about the relationship, as we all say. Good stuff. Yeah. The Rancho, really great. High volume. Go back, go back, go back. No, you covered it. Go to rum.
All right.
Who's
Rum. One of my favorite categories. Love that pirate guy Cheryl put on here. So you guys aren't probably most of you know I'm a huge fan of Plantaray, formerly Plantation Rum. They continuously and have for years made some of the best products for the money, and Three Star, their white rum, really, really embodies that. It is hands and away the best white rum on the market, I think, especially for that price point. You're looking at about a 50 cent an ounce cost. On that 6 bottle deal, we're getting both those, the Three Star and the original dark, down to 17.50 a liter. So guys, this is like unbelievable for the price point. If anybody wants to make a lovely daiquiri or like a rum and coke that's gonna knock somebody's socks off, this is the move. This is in dive bars, this is in cocktail bars, the best in the city, so and the best in the state. So the Three Stars is a blend of 3 different rums, so it's got a lot of character, but also just straight up delicious. The original darks got a little Jamaican rum in it too, so it's got a little funk, and it's just a great product. Barcelo, if you need something a little better price point, that they do a Blanco and a liter, gets down to 12.30 on that case deal. It is, a classic industrial light white rum. So it just fits the bill. If somebody's using like Bacardi, you're going to come in at a better price point, better flavor. All these are going to be better than, the industry leader.
Lots of other SKUs on that too. I just kind of try to stick with leaders on the presentation for you, but they've got their Dorado and then Yeho, which are both coming in, I think, under $14 a bottle too, but those are in the 750.
They're honestly kind of a sneaky product in the portfolio that we don't sell a ton of, but it's all really good for the price point. So don't be afraid to pull those Ron Barcelo bottles and get after it. Tanduay is another one that's kind of I think overlooked, unfortunately, in our book. Tanduay is from the Philippines. It is actually the #1 selling rum in the entire world. So there's obviously some room for growth with what we're doing with it. They have a white and a dark liter, all coming in at that's our least expensive rum in the whole portfolio. So if you have somebody that's very, very price conscious, go ahead and get them that Tanduay
I think we could be doing better selling Tanduay in Asian restaurants, as
for sure.
anyone that comes from Asia is going to be extremely familiar with that rum, as it's basically the #1 spirit in the continent.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know this because you think we have a very craft-driven rum portfolio, and we do, but those 3 brands are top 10 brands in the world right now. Barcelo, Tanduay, and Plantaray are all in the top 10 largest rum brands. So these are
Yeah.
big dogs. We have a impressive rum portfolio full of well-known brands, and they need to be presented.
Yeah,
I got the Tanduay coconut as well. Also didn't put on there because it's in the 750, but I don't know if we saw the cappuccino.
cappuccino is on closeout. If you need some cappuccino rum for like $6, it's in there too. Yeah, I mean, I would say, we have great rum. We should have if somebody's serving rum, we need to have these in there. Bourbon. This is an incredible picture. That's what I would look like after a night of drinking bourbon. So bourbon's a tough one for us. I mean, a lot of people play that allocation game, but what we can offer are incredible quality bourbons with no strings attached, y'all. So we're not gonna make them carry Wheatley or whatever to get allocations. We just have great whiskey at a really low price point. Old Bardstown's from the Willett family estate, so everyone that knows bourbon knows about Willett. So this is a great opportunity to piggyback on their success there and sell Old Bardstown. It's a 90 proof, delicious corn bourbon from a small family-owned operation that's pretty unheard of in the category, and you're getting it 50 cents an ounce. And then we've harped on Green River for a long time. You guys know the quality there for their normal SKUs. The 1885 is their 85 proof well option. And that's at 15.50 on a case. Also delicious. It's got a good bit of age to it too for the category. A lot of people are pouring Kentucky Gentleman and stuff like that, which really isn't even bourbon. It's colored and flavored and just gross. So these are great ways in to take that placement. And then G&W, old brand made by the Laird's Apple Brandy people, or at least owned by it. I think it's made at Heaven Hill, and that stuff gets down to 11.50, which is insane to me. So these three are always should be presented when you're trying to get that bourbon placement.
Yeah, let's talk about KG because that is one of the cheap whiskey wells that you see in the wells a lot. Kentucky Gentleman is not bourbon. It is a 51% bourbon, 49% neutral grain spirit that is then colored and sweetened with syrup. It is horrible. I mean, I'm sure all of us drank it at some point in college, but uh, it is a really, really lousy product, and it is an easy thing to go after and say, "Hey guys, your bourbon well isn't bourbon. Like, let me show you G&W or Old Bardstown or one of these, and try it and try an actual bourbon in your well instead of, you know, this Frankenstein whiskey that they've created to be the cheapest possible." I mean, that being said, you do have to sell it as a craft product. I mean, it isn't as cheap. A Kentucky Gentleman's like $7 a liter, but it's probably worth less. So that's what you can go into and say, like, I wouldn't feed that. I wouldn't serve that to anybody. Like, you guys can upgrade this well placement and do much better and make more money. And
Yep.
every product we're going after, we can have a similar conversation. When you go after Mr. Boston, when you go after Skull, I mean, play the quality card. That's where we win. Convince them to serve quality instead.
A good way I pitch these things too is like if you're gonna serve something that's inferior, people are gonna get one of those bourbon and cokes with the Kentucky Gentleman, and they're gonna be like, God, I don't want another one of those. But if you've got this with Green River in it or Old Barstool or even G&W, they're gonna be like, this is delicious. They'll probably have several. That's probably my main sales pitch, especially with Planetary 3 stars. It's like rum and cokes are gonna taste about 10 times better with Planetary than with whatever you're using currently. So you're gonna get more sales. Caitlin saying that Mr. Boston's is sketchy stock. So yeah, check in. Always lean in and look at the rail and ask your customer what's going on with their brands if they're looking for new stuff, if they're having stock issues, because that's the time to swoop in. Thanks, Caitlin. More schnapps. Cordials, guys. So this is an often overlooked part of the rail, but we've got some new items here that can get you in. I know everybody's a little upset with Deauville being out of stock. So we've got 229 making us a triple sec that gets down to 14 cents an ounce. That's beating everybody, I think, out there right now. 229 peach, also a great one. There's gonna be more flavors coming too, so we should be able to get in and steal that whole rail for you. Another thing to note is like a lot of companies, some of the bigger distributors will lock these accounts into like well deals where if they buy all the wells, they get a specific price point. If we don't play that game, obviously, so they can just buy these as they need them. They're not locked into any weird deals with
Yeah,
it.
I saw those well deals all the time, and you could fight against that by talking to them and saying like, there's not really such thing as a well deal. Like, it's not legal to link those brands together like that. So you could simply say, yeah, whatever they're saying to get you the well pricing on this actually exists. You could just ask them for that price. I mean, they're hosing you right now. We don't play those games. You can get 229 triple sec for 475 a bottle, no matter what else you buy.
Exactly. We threw Molly's Irish Cream in here because everyone carries one. You'll see out there like Bailey's or Irishman cream, that's kind of thing. If you taste those products, they are nowhere near as good as Molly's and are generally more expensive. So please pull a bottle of this stuff and show it to your accounts. Cream's kind of a hotter category right now. It's definitely the time to strike, and weather's about to start cooling off, so you'll be seeing more Irish coffees going out.
God, I hope so.
And then I'll let Cheryl touch on the next class coming up.
Yeah, I didn't want to really dive too far. I mean, obviously, our modifier and cordial selection is massive in the portfolio, and I didn't want to dive too deep on this presentation just because I feel like there's probably hours worth of content to go over for that. So we're gonna be setting up hopefully like a little mini class and kind of hopefully pair it up with the Savannah chat and really kind of dive into a lot of those liqueurs in our books that our book that's either unknown about or overlooked or just that we need to be focusing more on. So I'm hoping to get that set up for you guys in the next month or so.
Thank you. Another thing I wanted to know, we didn't add it on this sheet, but we just a few weeks ago received 21 Mezcal. So Mezcal is not the biggest seller all over the state, but where it does sell, they sell a lot of it. So make sure you're showing 21 Mezcal. It is the best price going out there, as far as I'm concerned, for the quality. So that's something to keep a lookout for. And Brent, you asked about Blue Curacao. I do believe they are working on one now. Don't quote me on it, but I think they're working on all the big cordial SKUs for us. So we'll let you keep you updated on that.
How hard is it to dye that triple sec blue? You know what I mean?
That's not all it is. Cool. I mean, I think that pretty much covers the bases. And again, if you guys need help, if you're in an account, holler at us. We'll give you a top few SKUs to present and a lowdown on how to talk about them. And happy to join you at an account if we have the time.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is don't ever think that asking for help looks bad. Always ask for help. We're here to help
Yeah,
you present. We'll
we
fill
have
in
a
the gaps
massive
of your
portfolio.
knowledge. We have a massive portfolio, and it is very difficult to expect everyone to be fully educated on it. Even us. I'm getting rusty on some things.
I get
But
surprised all the time.
yep. So, ask for help and selling to on premise kind of has a bit of a smaller portfolio depending on the type of account. I mean, that's not always true. If you go into a Japanese restaurant that takes themselves seriously, you're going to really get into Asian spirits and sake. But most bars and most cocktail bars, we've kind of got like a top three brands in each category, like that we go after that you want to sell volume first. And this presentation really details that. So feel free to ask for help, and we'll show you the ropes and show you these products and show you how to sell them. And there is just nothing more valuable than a good cocktail list placement and getting those repeat sales and just collecting that annuity without having to do more work. A 6-pack of rum every week just adds up so much. And then all of a sudden that account is like 80% up. And you're like, where did that come from? What did you do to get this account 80% up? Oh, it's one cocktail list placement. It's one BTG. I had a BTG in an Italian restaurant that was worth like $20,000 a year for like 3 years. It was incredible. So these big wins are big wins. So that's what you got to go after. If you go after the dusty bottles on the back bar, you get dusty bottles on the back bar. If you go after big cocktail placements, you get those. So focus on the top down. Anybody have any questions or anecdotes or stories they want to share? Successes they've had recently? Don't all open mic at once.
I had a great meeting at Whisk in Brittany Price's territory last week.
Nice.
Like 6 different SKUs, 8 different SKUs. Kudos to her for reaching out and getting me in there with the buyer. So yeah, if you guys have opportunities, if somebody's changed the menu, wants to rework it, holler at me or Cheryl and we'll go in there and make some money for you.
Nice. Tiffany Rains took Jason and myself to a cocktail list placement at the James Room on the Beltline. I want to say 2 Core 7s ago, so maybe it was in April, when Rayon was on, and we made that Rayon placement, which was their well, which has been reordered multiple times and has accounted for thousands of dollars of sales already, with just one simple Core 7 pod that happens to be on the cocktail list. So that's a great placement. That's the kind of stuff you want to get.
Indeed. Yeah, he's ordering a ton of stuff. I saw.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna check. I haven't looked in a minute. The last time I looked, it looked very good. Anyone else who's got something? Somebody out there. There's 45 of you here. Somebody's got something good to share that they're proud of. Good presentation they've made, etc. Yeah, he's still buying rayon. That's nice. And it's vodka. Well, I
Well,
guess I
well, real
can't make
quick,
you all.
actually,
Yeah, go ahead, Brent.
I just wanted to say Jason's been working with me at an account out here in Carrollton, Solo Caribbean, and there's been some issues with the owner as far as just not showing up for meetings. But he's come out here a couple times. Is coming back out this week. Got a ton of placements in there. We're going to be redoing her her menu and just completely taking the place over once we can actually get her to show up for a meeting. But hopefully that'll be this week. But he's been invaluable, and so that's been a big hit. We got all the product in there. We just got to get the menu done. So just wanted to mention that and give him props for all the help there.
Thanks, Brent.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff, guys. Yeah, those meetings with the shot callers, it can take you a while to get in front of them, but once you do, it usually works. Jason Spiegel had a good anecdote here. He would actually going to be one of the people I was going to ask to unmic and share, but recently got a secure day well placement for Green River 1885 at a winery in Ackworth. All right, that's good stuff. Replaced ASW bourbon. Good work. Yeah, I mean, again, guys, the portfolio we've cultivated, there's a lot of good craft options that are smaller brands, family owned, better quality, not as expensive because, they're not paying shareholders, they're not paying marketing budgets, they're not paying PR firms, they're not trying to get out from cheating on their spouse at a Coldplay concert, etc.
Nice.
That wasn't an alcohol brand, but you get the idea.
He actually,
Amber Lake.
one of them worked for Privateer Rum.
Oh, that's right. The husband, one of the victims. Amber has her hand raised. Hi, Amber.
Hey guys, I just kind of wanted to expand on the agave and how Buen Amigo kind of opened up doors for me on a lot of them, like the 229 triple sec and peach schnapps, and the mollies and the Tandway, Ron Barcelo have all came after the big Buen Amigo. So it kind of segued into all these other placements. So I just
Nice.
want to share that.
We'd love to see a plan coming together. That's the idea. You get that big win and you keep adding, getting more and more of that business. And those, harping on these cordials and the triple second peach schnapps, it's not a big ring day one. We know that. It's a $50 case. It's not paying the bills anytime soon. But that stuff adds up. It adds up over the months. It adds up over the years. It adds up when you have multiple accounts buying it. All of a sudden, you have 10 high volume triple sec placements. That ends up being a very, very solid item for you that'll generate a lot of sales and keep those accounts in the green. Agave flavored tequila for margaritas. Okay. Pedro, I'm going to look that up. I'm not familiar with agave flavored tequila. You familiar with that?
Maybe he means like
agave flavored neutral green spirits.
yeah, the agave flavor.
Oh, the mixtos. Sure.
Yes, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
in Mexico, you can't even call it mixto tequila. The place name is much more protected there. Mixto is just called mixto. But here, because of corporations that own tequilas, they have lobbied for that place name to not take place. So you could still call mixto, which is blended, mixed tequila. So it's confusing to a lot of folks. But I always if you go into a place that's a nice restaurant and they have mixtos, sell against that 100% of the time. Get that 100% agave. In my opinion, a margarita does call for tequila to be in it, and mixto is not tequila. So if you're served a margarita without tequila in it, it's not actually a margarita. It's just a weird daiquiri hybrid. But I mean, that's just one of my matter of fact opinions. But any nice place, there's space for. Jesus, you got something?
Yeah, well, no, I was gonna mention that a lot of restaurants, if you find out what they're using for the margaritas, you'll be surprised how many of them are using agave flavor tequila. They're not even about tequila. They don't even say tequila on the bottle.
Nice.
So like Pedro Jimenez is one of them. Even Montezuma now it says flavor made with flavored tequila. So Buen Amigo should be an easy replacement for the the cost and everything.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's, some of those mixtos are pretty cheap. So if your customer is extremely price conscious and that's what matters to them, price over everything, it might be tough to take that placement. But if they do care about serving a quality product, you can upgrade that away from one of those really, really bad wells into a decent quality product like Rancho or Rayon for not much more cost per ounce. I mean, we're talking a dime or 15 cents generally.
And that's what's happening in the market, with
Yeah.
the everything going up. Everybody's looking for cheap, inexpensive, but they're not realizing that they're not buying tequila. They're not making, like you were mentioning earlier, that they're not using tequila brands.
Not using real tequila. Good
Yeah.
stuff, Jesus. Thank you. All right, cool. I guess we can call it there. Some good anecdotes, good presentation. It's all recorded, so if you want to listen to this all over again, those of you that are here, it'll be on YouTube soon. Other than that, have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.